taking it minute by minute, hour by hour.
Getting on my knees and praying to God, because that's all we can do right now is pray for Damar.
We pray for Damar. We pray for his teammates, God.
Yes.
We pray for everyone that was on the field with him.
Yes.
The people who took care of him.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's about a man's life. It's not about a game. He was out there, and he's given his life for this. I mean, these guys put their lives on the line every time they go out there.
A small yet simple sign carrying a large and powerful message tonight. Pray for Hamlin, sitting outside the University of Cincinnati Medical Center. Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin inside the hospital here tonight as the nation prays for his speedy recovery. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jeff Russo. We are live in Cincinnati. Damar Hamlin does remain in critical condition tonight, but a family spokesperson tells us that he does remain in good spirits. Hamlin, as we all know, suffering cardiac arrest and required CPR on the field at Paycor Stadium last night, injured while making a tackle in the first quarter of last night's game against the Cincinnati Bengals. That game was suspended, then finally postponed about an hour later. Now, just a few hours ago, Hamlin's family did provide an update. They thanked everyone for their show of support. They also acknowledged the Cincinnati Bengals and the medical professionals for everything they have done up until this point. Now, the hospital has not provided any new information on Hamlin's condition today. I did trade messages with a rep from the hospital, and they said if there is an update, when there is an update, we will all receive it. But a friend of Hamlin's has been keeping us updated throughout. Now, Damar Hamlin is relatively new to Western New York. Still, he's become a core member of the Buffalo Bills, and through all of this, we are learning much more about this young man, and he is young, only 24 years of age. Hamlin grew up just a few hours from Western New York in the Pittsburgh area. He was a standout at the University of Pittsburgh, the Bills drafting him in the 6th round of the 2021 draft. Hamlin's friend, Jordan Rooney, has become the lead spokesperson for the family over the last 24 hours, calling him a fighter today. He says Hamlin is close to his family, which provides him a real strong support system.
For them, it's, Damar is like a symbol of strength for them. So I think it's different. It's different for them. And Damar is someone that he doesn't show his emotions all like that. He's a great personality. He's very charismatic. But in terms of showing emotion, it isn't something that you see. So, he's in a vulnerable position that I think it could be a little bit scary, especially for the family.
Rooney calls Hamlin a winner and hopes that he can help him and his family make it through this difficult time. And it is a difficult time, an unprecedented scare happening in front of tens of thousands of people in the stadium just a couple miles away here last night. A lot of those folks were Bills fans that came here for the highly anticipated game against the Cincinnati Bengals last night. They made the trip. Our James Catato, I want to bring in. He was with those fans, those Bills fans that made the trip from Western New York before the game yesterday, has been here throughout the day, meeting with many of those fans as well, just everyone sending their well wishes, hoping and praying for a speedy recovery here tonight. James.
Yeah, Jeff, we know Buffalo as the city of good neighbors, but honestly, over the past 24 hours or so, it's felt like the nation of good neighbors, right? You saw Cincinnati Bengals fans, Buffalo Bills fans, sitting on the corners of these streets right across from the University of Cincinnati Medical Center. It didn't matter what your fandom was, who you affiliated yourself with through candlelight or anything, and prayer, whatever it was, they wanted to be here for Damar Hamlin and his family. I think the one main takeaway here is when you watch these people together, you realize it's bigger than football, it's more than a game, and that's exactly, regardless of fandom, what people were saying.
All of us Bengals fans, Cincinnati, the world as a whole, even if I wasn't a fan, just wanted to know that people are there for him.
Choose love, just love one another, and just be here for everyone, because you never know. You never know. A game that everybody loves to watch, and then something like this happens, and it wakes everybody up.
You kind of heard it right there, Jeff. Choose love. That's kind of been the motto of Buffalo, right? For the past year, it's been through so much as a city. And again, this is just a game, right? We're talking about a human life here in Damar Hamlin. We're talking about Hamlin, a human right. being, and a brother, right? So many meaningful, a son, right? So many, a teammate. To so many people, Damar Hamlin is more than just an NFL player. It's so easy to lose track of that when we're watching sports, but these people have made it seem like a family here in Cincinnati.
So much bigger than football, right? And the sports world uniting to send well wishes to Hamlin and his family here tonight. And Bills fans not only gathered here, but also back at home. A large crowd coming together outside the Bills store, James, at Highmark Stadium for a prayer for 3 at 3 vigil. We're also told there will be a candlelight vigil outside the stadium tonight at 7 o'clock. And it's not just the Bills Mafia who has responded, as James touched on. This incident really touching Bengals fans as well. Just about anyone else who saw what happened to Damar Hamlin last night. One Bengals fan told our affiliate WCPO, that he traveled to Cincinnati from Nashville to see the game last night. And despite bleeding orange and black, he wants to support the Bills however he can.
I was thinking when I woke up this morning, I might order a custom NFL shop T-shirt with Damar Hamlin on it and just wear it as a Bills T-shirt, even though I'm a Bengals fan, just to support them going into next week. But I definitely think you'll see the Bengals, do something special to honor Damar, and obviously we're all continuing to pray for him.
Well, you probably remember there is a strong connection, right, between the Bills and Bengals. Bills fans donating millions of dollars to then Bengals quarterback Andy Dalton's charity after Dalton helped the Bills end their playoff drought back in 2017. Now, one of the key questions we are still seeking answers to tonight is some clarity on exactly what happened. It's so unusual to see a young man in peak physical condition fall to the ground without warning and suffer such a serious condition as we did last night. Now, several doctors said it appears that Hamlin suffered a condition known as sudden cardiac death. Their theory is that the force of the collision between Hamlin and Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins caused his heart to suddenly shut down.
And that can occur because of abnormalities of the electrical system, or it can occur because of abnormalities of the structure of the heart. It can also occur because of a violent blow to the chest. It's a condition called commotors cardia, which can cause the heart to go into an irregular rhythm, causing sudden cardiac death.
Well, the chief of cardiology at Kaleida Health says athletes are screened for underlying conditions that could affect their heart health when they become players in the NFL. But at this point, we've only been told that Hamlin suffered cardiac arrest, remains in the ICU here tonight in Cincinnati, and is in critical condition. Just about 20 hours ago, after suffering that shocking injury that put the sports world really on pause and demanded attention. It's an incident that has brought reporters, dozens of reporters, not only from here locally and back in Western New York, but from across the country here, as we all come together to wish Mr. Hamlin a speedy recovery and send well wishes to his family here in Cincinnati. We will continue to be here with the very latest and update you through for now. But for now, reporting from the University of Cincinnati Medical Center in Cincinnati, I'm Jeff Russo. Let's send it back to Hannah in the studio.
Jeff, thank you. This has been unthinkable, just a tragedy. Matt Bove, you were there last night. While many of us at home watched on TV what was happening and just waited for any sign with bated breath, you were inside the stadium. Provide us some perspective as to what that was like.
It was awful. Yeah. I think about all of the players. I think about the teammates. I can't imagine what they were going through. And by now you've seen the reaction of some of the people that were inside of the stadium. That was just some of the pictures and the videos. The actual reactions were worse. There were players buckling at the knees because they couldn't take what they were watching. There were players who needed to be moved away from the sideline because they couldn't look at their teammate down like that, unresponsive. There were players sobbing. These are professional athletes. We always talk about how tough they are, but before they're professional athletes, they're humans. And one of their most beloved brothers was down and helpless and facing death, and it was awful. It's just watching Jeff there and thinking about how 24 hours we were standing a few miles away talking about a football game and how now none of that matters is just really, really eye-opening. It
was just in the blink of an eye, and that's just how quickly something can happen, and it's just a sobering reminder for us here at home.
Yeah, it's It's just a game. It means so much to so many people. This is my living. This is what I do for work. But somebody's life was really in danger and is still in danger. And when you think about that in perspective of football, it feels so minuscule. And you just look at the responses of these players. It was all of these players, and it wasn't just when they were on the field. It was for the hours after, when they were trying to figure out what was happening, what was going on with their brother. There's been video of Stephon Diggs. He Ubered to the hospital so he could be with Damar Hamlin. Other players were trying to figure out how they could get to the hospital, how they could get to other members of his family to be by their side. These people are close. These are the people that they spend every single day with from the start of the summer all the way up until this point. So when that happens to anybody, it's hard to watch. When it happens to somebody who you consider a brother, somebody who you are with every single day, every second, you're traveling with, it is just a completely different level.
I mean, it's hit so many people across the world, literally. No plans to reschedule the game, and that's like the last thing on anyone's mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, it's about Damar Hamlin and just hoping and praying that he recovers whenever that happens. Football, that's on the back burner, and NFL, Bills, Bengals, not trying to think about it right now.
We've seen the NFL come together. We've seen the country come together. The league and all of its 32 teams have now changed their Twitter profile picture to say, pray for Damar. That includes the Bengals, of course, who played the Bills last night, and all of their division rivals. Just an unbelievable situation. I've never seen anything like it.
No, nobody has.
Nobody has. And all you could do today, I mean, I woke up probably every hour looking at my phone. And I'm not someone who knows Damar Hamlin.
Yeah.
I'm not someone who's ever met him. This has just touched so many people. We want to know so badly that this athlete, this Buffalonian, is going to be okay.
This team means so much to this community. And I know I just said it's just football, but in Buffalo, those players are an extension of this city, this fan base, these people. And when you see one of your own in that kind of position, it is hard not to just be heartbroken. And that is the message and the thought moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. Couldn't have said it better. Thank you. So many people from all walks of life have shared their thoughts supporting Damar Hamlin and his family. We have collected these social media statements as part of our continuing coverage on WKBW.com. You can take a look there. We'll be right back.